And I did. That's why. So I did. Hey, hi, welcome to the show, Constitution Then Out. Today's show is being taped, of course, on Wednesday, July 2nd. But today, the first time the show is being aired is Friday night, July 4th. So I hope everybody out there had a good Friday the 4th. July the 4th, rather, sorry. And looks like it's going to be really bad weather, but I hope it doesn't happen. But they're saying looks like it's a pretty good chance.
We'll hold off.
You think so?
Now, what were you telling me? Big doings on Howe's Neck?
No. Let's not get away.
Oh.
Before the show started, we were talking about patriotism, and you were really getting upset, Jack, about the fact that politicians, even your liberal friends, have to get up and say "God bless America"
when
at the end of every speech, and they have to wear a doggone lapel flag on their flag, and that really was bothering you.
No,
it was
they
bothering
can do whatever they want.
because
It's
you
just
sat here for 5 minutes before the cameras went on. All right, you should have seen them. I mean, I think I get upset sometimes on this show. I thought you were going to take off here. You were so mad.
Is this the way you treat guests?
Liberals.
That's all right. I can take it.
First of all, I want to thank my friend Me. She sent me a 4th of July card. I got to tell you when I came in, thank you very much. And Me, I hope you had a great 4th of July with your family. And thank you very much for the card and the compliments on the show. Thank you very much. Now, I want to talk about the Howe's Neck bonfire. Have you been following? Do you read the Quincy Sun at all?
No.
All right. Talk about being mad, Jack. I couldn't be madder. All right. Let's just, please comment on this, okay, as I go on. And another thing, I apologize too. I broke my glasses, so I got to put these on. Sadly, I went to take them off the table, and the side fell off, right? So these are a pair of old ones that I had from the prescription before. So I can wear these and I can see, pretty kind of good. But in order to read, I got to have these on. I look like a fool, the fool that I am. That's why I'm an odd fellow, right? But anyways, I apologize, but not to make the show go halfway. We'll have to do it this way. Howe's Neck, new safety plan for Howe's Neck bonfire. Crackdown on underage drinking and use of fireworks on July 3rd. Quincy Police Chief and Fire Department are stepping up their efforts to ensure public safety at this year's 3rd of July bonfire in Howe's Neck. Fire Chief Paul Keenan and Fire Chief Joseph Byrne spoke about the new safety plans for they said Edgewood, it's Edgewater, but that's okay, bonfire at their recent community meeting organization. Ward 1 Councilor Margaret LaFlores, or sometimes I like to call her a lieutenant in the, she's a lieutenant in the Communist Party, okay? She's a good liberal, Jack. She never has a flag on her.
I noticed that tourism in Quincy has picked up considerably in the last couple of years.
Yeah, right. Okay, Keenan said July 3rd is one of the 3 nights he is most concerned about blah, 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 about bonfire, this, that, and the other thing. Now I'm going to go to page 9. This is where it gets interesting. This is where I get mad. Right? Basically what it is, Jack, I'm going to tell you in a nutshell what it is for years they've been trying to do away with the bonfire. They don't like it. Leo Kelly tried to do away with it a few times. He got his head handed to him, okay? Because it bothers a lot of people. It bothers people down there. I tell you, this past week, since when this came out, there were 40 people. I mean, I wanted desperately to go to the meeting, and I couldn't make it. I had another meeting I had to go to, and I thought I was going to make it in time, but it was like 7:45 before I got out of that meeting, and this meeting started at 7. And by 7:45, then it was like a half an hour to get home, so I didn't even go by. I figured it was all over. But anyways, a lot of people have said to me, in fact, today I had 4 people talking to me about how upset they are, or what they're doing with this bonfire. I mean, this bonfire has been going on before my mother was a little kid, they would have this bonfire. We used to have, when I was a kid growing up down there in the late 50s, early 60s, okay, in high school, junior high and everything, we used to have 2 bonfires on Edgewater Drive. We used to have one on one side and one on the other side of a creek that went out on the other side. And it was great. No, it didn't bother anybody. There were people there drinking, and it was one night a year, Jack. One night a year. Now you got all these liberal do-gooders moving in there, okay? And as one lady said to me in that snarly look that she has. She's a good liberal, because I know, because she has a Warren bumper sticker on the back of her car and a Moakley sticker on the back of her car. So she's right in step line with all the others here in Quincy, with the Communist Party,
no lynch sticker.
the Communist Party, and everything else. Okay, well, I'm sure she likes Lynch. Okay, and she said to me, "My kids are all grown up, Don. They don't even come here anymore for this, and my grandchildren don't come down. So I don't care." Typical liberal. It's my way or the highway. Okay. And I do notice too that she does not have an American flag in her yard, any kind of American, any kind of thing for 4th of July or anything else like that. She's a good liberal. She's out front about it though. But anyways, let's get back to this here. Okay, here's one thing here. There were great fireworks over the Wissaguasset Beach, but people shoot fireworks off on Edgewater Drive. They shoot bottle rockets into the crowd. Yeah, right. Every once in a great while, somebody will shoot them. They're on the beach, okay? Their mothers, their fathers, whatever, they give them kids. One day a year, Jack, kids being kids, all right? Having a lot of fun, jumping and yelling and screaming around. It's late at night. This is great for them. You ever been to the bonfire down there?
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I haven't been invited down there by anyone.
No?
No.
Well, you're invited. Okay, and it's a great time. I mean, I remember some of my greatest memories, of the summer. I mean, we always used to say, my grandfather always used to say, well, summer's over, the minute the 4th of July was over. We used to have the bonfire and everything. Then we went to my grandfather's, we'd cook hot dogs and hamburgers and all the family would bring different stuff. We'd eat and have a great time. And then, but these kids go down, even now, and they're shooting bottle rockets and fireworks and whatever else off into the air. Every once in a great while, yeah, one does goes out of control and comes that way. They make it sound like people are being rushed to the hospital. You know what I mean? Metal flight. It's at the Quincy Hospital or something like that with 50-degree burns or something. Right? So anyways, they're going to stop all that. They're going to stop all of that. Okay? They're going to put a perimeter around the bonfire with the sheriff's department. Okay? Nobody's going to be able to go near the bonfire. Right now, today, Wednesday, okay, they have, before they used to, let me put these on because they bother me, I don't need them right now. They used to maybe 10 days before the bonfire started, before July 3rd, they used to start building the bonfire. Now, remember folks, Jack, this happens all right smack dab in front of my house. If anybody should be bitching about it, it should be me. I love it. This is what your liberal federalist friend, President John Adams, said in a letter to Abigail, said the 4th of July should be celebrated with bonfire, pomp and circusy. He even said shooting guns off in the air, okay? Fireworks. He said it in a letter. In fact, I intend on writing a response to the Quincy Sun on that, and I'm going to put that letter in there if they'll take the whole thing. All right, I'm going to put the letter in there because these good liberals like Margaret LaFlorist and all these other nitwits, okay, that want to just do away with everything, okay, they don't care, Jack. They don't care about that. Somebody most of the people down there may be enjoying it. You go down there during the July 3rd. They have the things for the kids during the day. They close the beach off, sack races, great stuff. The people do a fantastic job, the volunteers who do that. Then at night, all the way up the hill, all the way around, people are having cookouts and everything. People are coming down, their friends and everything else like that. Sure, it gets out of control. People are coming down, from other parts of the state, Everett and all these other places they're staying. That happens. But why do I have to take why does my enjoyment have to be taken away? Why? So again, going back to what I was saying a few minutes ago, today's the 2nd, from 8 o'clock this morning, this is July 2nd, from 8 o'clock this morning till 8 o'clock tonight, you can put wood, you can build a bonfire. Before, they used to start the bonfire 10 days before the July 2nd. All last week, this weekend, and everything, I saw trucks going by, and they had wood in the back of the end. They're looking, no bonfire, no bonfire, no bonfire. Okay, no wood out there. Nobody started the bonfire. Okay. Now they're going to have 2 firemen standing there where they're going to back in to bring your wood in. You can't have anything with paint on it. You can't have any wood with any kind of a chemical, maybe stain or something like that. You can't bring any tree stumps or anything like that down there. Anything like that. I mean, you got to go to Home Depot and buy a brand new piece of wood, Jack. Okay? Because, Jack, don't hear me on it, Jack. The good liberal fire chief stood up there, right here in the Quincy Sun. He said he stood out there last year, Jack, and he watched black smoke coming out of the bonfire. My God, Jack, do you realize the whole problem with global warming and the world being the problem it is because of the House Neck freaking bonfire once a year for like a couple of hours? But, Jack, it gets even better, okay? This, Jack, is what they're doing, just like they're doing with a lot of members, okay? This is what they're doing. They're saying, like in the paper and everything else, we don't want to do away with the bonfire. We don't want to do away with it. We want people to come down and enjoy it and everything like that. What's going to happen next year, Jack? Everybody's going to say, what's the sense of bringing the wood down there? They're not going to let us put it on there. So that stops the bonfire. But they're going to be able to say to you, Jack, and me and everybody else, oh, no, we didn't stop the bonfire. Unfortunately, nobody brings the wood down no more, Don. Oh, Jack, okay, nobody brings the wood down no more. That's how they're going to do it. They're going to be able to say, oh, no, it wasn't me. Okay? Now, it gets better, Jack. We're going to have the sheriff's department, okay, down there, okay? They're going to form a perimeter around the fireplace, around the fire thing. Sheriff Bellotti is going to have his command post set up at LeBrec Field. You know that big, I call it like a camper, big long camper you drive? He's got one in there with all kinds of cameras and everything else. He's going to have that up there. Jack, Saturday, or at least I spotted him Saturday, down at the middle of Edgewater Drive on one of the lampposts, they got cameras. They got cameras looking up and down Edgewater Drive. You're going to have the sheriff's department up at LeBrec Field with the camera there, looking through the camera, watching what we're all doing. Okay, we may step on the street with an open container, Jack. We may walk off our yard and step on Edgewater Drive to talk to a friend with an open container. Boom, they're going to get us, Jack. They're going to get us. Okay, the Gestapo is going to be right down there on us, Jack. Okay, then we're going to have the MBTA police. So what if people are getting raped and robbed and stabbed and everything else on the T police? There's some little kid, Jack, and this is serious, Jack. Some little 7-year-old's mother or father maybe give her a sparkler. And she may be standing there in the yard twirling that sparkler. The MBTA with their riot gear are going to come scooping down and bang that little 7-year-old, Jack. How dare those parents will go away for a long time. Okay? This is their way, Jack, of doing away with the bonfire, doing away with all the fun. Okay? This is how you liberals do it. Okay, all the kids are going to have a nice time in the morning. The sack races and all that stuff there. They'll have some hot dogs for them. All right, give them a little T-shirt, and then at night, if you want to have a cookout in your yard, but don't you dare, Jack, don't you dare step on Edgewater Drive with an open container, because they're going to get you. If you don't look 21, they're going to take everything away from you. They're going to check everything. Think of it, Jack. Think of it. Did you ever think in your time, Jack, that you would have cameras on the street because people are going to celebrate the birth of America? This is the 4th of July, okay? That's the birth certificate of America, the Constitution, Declaration of Independence. That's the birth certificate of this country. We're celebrating our country. We're celebrating it in Howe's Neck on Edgewater Drive the way the President of the United States at the time, he wasn't the President, but when he wrote the Constitution, the way he wrote back to his wife and said, this is how we should celebrate this every year. Sick, pompous, fireworks, shooting off firearms, and everything else. Okay? Taking that away from us, Jack. What do you have to say?
I have to say it's a crying shame. As a kid, I spent my 4th of July's in Plymouth, down in the family's beach house on the shore.
The compound.
And the nanny would take
the
us
liberal
up
compound,
to
family's liberal compound.
To the my nanny would take me up to
the
fire. And Plymouth always had a big bonfire. Always had a big bonfire, and it was fun. It was exciting. You know, for the most part, people were having, I would say, good-natured fun. There wasn't. Maybe different era, different time, but there wasn't fighting and public drunkenness to the extent that people were obnoxious and you're right, someone would fire off a little firecracker, not a cherry bomb, but just a little firecracker every now and then, and it was fun. So I mean, when you started off by saying, well, we want to ensure safety and underage drinking. You say, well, okay, has there been a problem with safety? That's the question.
I'm right in front of the bonfire.
Right.
Only problems I ever have is there's kids running through my yard. Okay, no big deal to me. Okay, they're running through my yard. All right. Apparently, supposedly, okay, and you know how the communist network works. They make these things up. The government, the communist network makes these things up, and it's true even if it ain't. Just like programs, even though the program ain't working, they're going to make it work. Even if they have to throw all kinds of money at it, they're not going to be proven wrong. They're saying that people are afraid to come out of their house. Now, again, I live right smack dab in front of it, and I have no problems in front of my house. Now, I know up other parts of the street there are parties going on. I'm thinking there's a house up near the other end of Rock Island Road, up a little ways, almost right near Littlefield Street, that they have bashes there every year. And I mean, there is a lot of kids, young kids and everything else, this, that, and the other thing. But it's one time a year. It's one time a year. You know, and now we've gotten to the point where they're going to do away with the bonfire. They've tried. They wanted for years to do away with the bonfire, but the pushback was a lot. Okay, but this is the way they're going to get around it. You know, all the Communist Party groups here in Massachusetts, you know, they all got together during the winter, and they says, here's how we can do it this time. We'll just say from 8 to 8. We'll just say in certain types of wood because of the environment, okay? And so then like they say, the next year everybody's going to say, I'm not going. They won't take. I'm just going to get rid of it another way. Put it off with the trash or whatever.
Now, at this meeting that you couldn't attend, was that a House Neck meeting?
About the bonfire.
About the bonfire.
Yes, yes. 40 people showed up.
Okay.
So out of 40 people showing up, the rest of us, okay, the 5,000 people in House Neck or more, all right, have to put up with the 40.
Oh, it's the 40 who were protesting.
No, 40. They said 40 people showed up for the meeting. Some wanted it canceled.
Okay.
Others claimed that they're stuck in their house and they're afraid to come out of their house. This, that, and the other thing. You know, and again, what do? Now we've got the whole communist regime coming down on us. We got the stormtroopers from the MBTA police department. So what if there's people getting robbed and stabbed and everything else, and sexual harassments and all this other stuff going on the train, everything else like that? How's that going to be safe? They're going to form a perimeter around the beach, all right, with their dogs and their motorcycles and everything else. I mean, they have to, the MBTA police, they have to feel like cops once in a while. You know, I mean, I know it probably bothers them to ride on a T. That's why they're always at the cruises. I don't even think they go on the T anymore, because I mean, you hear them.
How is the sheriff's department getting involved in it?
The sheriff's department, the state of Massachusetts, as good a liberal state that it is, all right. Everybody they're supposed to be guarding the prisoners. Okay,
right.
That's what they're supposed to do. Down south, sheriff's departments are really law enforcement. Up here, sheriff's departments are babysitters. All right, at Walpole or Cedar Junction, whatever you want to call it, the other place, they're babysitters. Okay? But all of a sudden, for some reason or other, they started getting this law enforcement thing. First they got cruisers, now they got command centers, then they got motorcycles. I saw them again today at a funeral. But then they got motorcycles, they got dogs, Perfect example. Saturday, going over to my girlfriend's house. Coming up McGrath Highway, turned by Roxy's. Okay? I wanted to get up onto 90th Street going towards Dedham. 128 rather, going towards Dedham. So I'm coming up towards that new Hannon highway there, and right at Roxy's when I turned, right in front of me was the sheriff's department's car, K9 car. I wish I had gotten the number of the car. There was a big number on the back of it. I'd be spitting it out tonight. Okay, and after he got away, I thought of it. So anyways, we get up. You know where I don't know if you go past Roxy's, then you go past the four-way intersection right there. For Washington Street,
yep.
Then you get up a little ways farther, and crosses where you can take a right towards the square or a left towards Firestone.
Sure. Right
there at that set of lights on the Hannon Highway, whatever you call it. He went right through the red light. Okay, I'm coming up on. I'm behind him. The light is yellow. It's like 3 car lengths before that he was from going through that red light, the yellow light, and that light turned turned red, and he still had another car light that he could have stopped at. He hit that gas. You can see the front of the car pick up, boom, right through. Well, he didn't make it to the next set of lights, and I caught up, and I was laughing my head off, but I didn't say nothing. Then he takes the turn, okay, to go down towards the highway. He went down towards the highway, Jack, okay? As we get to the red light again, he goes right through the red light again. Right there where Lowe's is, okay? And the T's across from here. Right through and up the ramp he goes. As he goes up the ramp, he's over to the left. As he's going up the ramp, he scoots over to the right. You tried
to use his blinker?
No, that's where I'm getting at. This is where it's all going. He went through 2 red lights, okay? Didn't use his blinker, which is a $45 fine now, okay? It's all over the highway and everything, blinking everywhere. If you know, I mean, I was coming back from Boston. I went to a shoot. I was shot in the state championships in New Hampshire last Friday, right? I'm driving back from New Hampshire, and I'm going out too. Coming up through Boston, from Quincy, up the expressway, you know, and getting into the tunnel and everything else. You got these signs blinking up. Massachusetts, illegal to have fireworks. Illegal to have fireworks. Could be fine or imprisonment, fine or prison. You know, welcome to Massachusetts. Everything is fines and prisons. Fees, fines, taxes, and prison. Everything carries a prison sentence, okay? All right? But this sheriff's car didn't use his blinker. Now, what if that was you or me, Jack? And he was behind you in his sheriff's car, all right? Which it's foolishly ridiculous for the MBTA to have a police department. Okay, if you're going to have an MBTA police department, they call it a transit police department. Now, excuse me, I'm sorry, Jack. Transit police, just like New York has transit. They're trying to transition into the state police. That's what they want to do. And they should be on the T if they want to be in law enforcement. They should be on the T, not driving around, Jack, with motorcycles. Right? Not driving around with police cars with canine dogs and everything else. All right, having police powers any place that MBTA bus comes through that town or city, okay, and having all these police powers and everything else, they should be on the T. If you're going to have a police department, all right, security guards, there should be security guards on the T. Sheriff's department should be in the jails. Do you realize between the T and the sheriff's department how much tax money that's costing the average person? I know it doesn't bother you because you vote in November and then you screw down to Florida and we got to put up with the liberals and you go down to Florida where all the conservatives are. And you sit there all winter long with the conservatives. But do you realize how much tax money that we could save? But getting back to your question about, well, why is the sheriff's department do that? I don't know why.
I can tell you. I knew as soon as you said it.
But the Bellotti and the rest of them, you know, got together and said, we're going to make this I'm going to have a big, powerful organization. You know, another thing, a couple of weeks ago, I was driving down the road from by the football stadium. You come up on Adams Field, you know, I call it Fenway South, the way they take care of it. But coming up on Adams Field, out comes this command bus that I'm talking about. And behind it is a big black SUV. Well, as it starts to come out, the black SUV pulls up and blocks the street. Blocks the street. I had to stop. Cars come the other way, he had to stop. He's got his lights on, you know, the big blue lights. Why do they have a big black SUV with all tinted windows so you can't see them and everything else? It's the sheriff's department. You're supposed to be guarding the criminals in jail, all right? They go up to the first intersection there at Blacks Creek, all right? The SUV pulls in front of them, just right out the middle of it, puts his lights on, everybody stops, and the big command module bus there, whatever you want to call it, I call it the spy machine, okay, drives right straight through. They go straight up the road, okay, come up to where the police department is on C Street, right? They take the left take a left going towards House Necklake, then they pull into where the police station is. And he's stopping the traffic at every light for the guy. And then I'm driving by as I'm going by, I see it pull in, and there's a whole bunch of yellow school buses there, and they got all kinds of police department motorcycles, everything there, so the kids can come in and see it. He stopped traffic, could have caused an accident, so they could get there, playing policeman, which they shouldn't be playing policeman. Okay, just to be big shots. Oh, look at I can stop all the traffic. They should have obeyed the lights. Do you know, Jack? I talked to Quincy. This has nothing to do with Quincy police because they're super. I love the Quincy police. They're great people. Hey, but the simple fact of the matter is, Jack, did you know that even if a police car or an ambulance is going to an accident or anything else, they have to obey the lights, the lights, and stop signs, and everything else. They're supposed to. I mean, huh? But I mean, we have all this money being spent on one thing, and Housdeck is going to be the safest freaking place in the world. We're going to have the sheriff's department there, Jack. They're going to take care of us. We got the cameras on the street. They're going to be able to keep an eye on us. I'll bet you, Jack. I'll bet you before 7 o'clock at night, they bust a little 7-year-old with a sparkler. I'm telling you, they're going to bust a little 7-year-old with a sparkler, and they're going to make an example out of her and the parents too. How dare those parents take this kid down to a bonfire, celebrating the birth of America, give her a hamburger, a hot dog. How many hamburgers and hot dogs she has? There's probably going to be an investigation how many hamburgers and hot dogs she has. But how dare they do that and then give that kid a dangerous thing like a sparkler to run around at night when it's dark out, waving it and everything else. Telling you, Jack.
Now, Quincy Cable has me come down and appear on shows every so often just to keep Dawn under control. But I can tell you that's nearly impossible to do. Well, when you said the sheriff's department was going to be there, I mean, right away, I kind of like a little bell went off. I'll just tell you what off in my head. Holiday overtime pay. Right?
Well, that could
Holiday
be too.
overtime pay.
That could be too.
Now,
That could
the other
be
question
too.
that came in our mind is, how many towns in Norfolk County are having bonfires that night?
Well,
Same thing.
We went right across the street in Weymouth, and we went over there.
Yeah.
It,
Are they in
I know the
Norfolk
one-
County?
I think the guy I was talking to today said they canceled the one on Rhoda Street. That's down Housdeck on the other side. I don't know if Squantum
Well, I
does
mean,
one
I'm just saying,
anymore.
Norfolk County is a big place. It goes out
Yeah.
to Rentham and Plainville and
Yeah.
out there. I mean, I wonder if any of those towns have. Fireworks.
Listen. After the fire is lit on July 3rd, a perimeter will be established to keep people from running up to the fire and getting hurt. Now, Jack, I'm 66 years old. I born and raised down there. Okay, Jack, I've been to quite a few. Only times before the July I was there was maybe the 4 years I was in the service, because I wasn't around here at the 4th of July any of those years. Right? And a few other times when I drove over the road, there was a few times I wasn't home on the 4th of July, okay? But all those, let's just say let's say 40 years I've been watching the bonfire, okay? I had never seen anybody run when it was lit, to run to the bonfire, see how close they could get it, all right? But not only that, Jack, in order to light it this year, Jack, can't use gasoline or any kind of flammable thing. You're going to have to, in order to light the bonfire this year, Jack, you're going to have to use, where was it? I forget, I can't find it. It was right here someplace. But anyways, you're going to have to use one of those, you know those things you use if you have a flat tire and you're broken down the road. What's it?
Flare.
Flare, thank you.
Flare.
You're going to have to use a flare, and I'm sure the fire department will have to do it. But right now, Jack, think of it, right now as we're doing this show, the Gestapo is down on Edgewater Drive, okay, checking to make sure nobody brings a piece of wood with some paint on it. Okay, I can imagine how big this bonfire is going to be. And folks, it's the last year for the bonfire in Quincy, in Housdeck, the People's Republic of Housdeck in Quincy. It's the last year, I'm telling you, it's the last year, Jack, because they're not going to allow it anymore. And it's because of a few. Everybody else has to suffer, as usual. A few don't like it, like the Supreme Court says. If 99% vote for it and 1% don't like it, who's going to defend the 1%? Supreme Court says we are, so the 99% can't do it. That was the Earl Warren Court. That's how they felt. Okay? What do you have to say, Jack? I mean,
Where do I start?
Do you understand what I'm saying, though?
Yes, I do. And
it's frustrating.
I tell you, it's a shame that they take this tradition.
Yeah, they've been wanting to do away with
and-
it for years and years and years.
Well,
and
what?
now they're
Why?
getting, huh?
Why?
I
What's
don't
the
know
motivation?
because I never really tried to figure it out, but I know I did go to a few meetings over the years when Leo Kelly was counselor and raised the stink over it. Okay, and Leo Kelly did say one year, I believe, that he wasn't going to let them build a bonfire, but through a lot of complaining, he did.
Yeah, it's located on Howe's Neck,
Right.
but it's a Quincy event. I mean, it's
Right.
for the city of Quincy.
It's for anybody.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that it's a citywide event.
Mm-hmm.
How does the mayor feel? How do the other city councilors feel?
I don't know.
I'm
going to find out, but I don't
know?
know right now.
I would think that the mayor should at least make a statement that I disagree with this. What we're trying to do, let's make, if there's an issue of safety, well, let's make it safe.
What is the issue of safety?
I know. I'm just saying. I said if it's an issue of safety, we'll make it safe. How many people in the last 50 years have hurled themselves into the fire?
Yeah.
Well, no, none. How many of this has happened? How many of that has happened?
They're saying people are getting hurt every year by the bottle rockets getting shot into the crowds, and it could be so. It could be so. Okay, but you don't stop it to everybody else. Okay.
Well, I can see them say, "Listen, we'll be on the lookout for kids with illegal fireworks."
Well, all illegal fireworks here in Massachusetts. They're all illegal.
And we'll be on the lookout for underage drinking.
You see, let me tell you a little something. I'm probably going to get arrested for this, okay, Jack? But a lot of people go up to New Hampshire and they buy their fireworks.
Sure.
Okay? And what they don't realize is the Gestapo from Massachusetts is up there. They got the state police sitting in the parking lot right around this time of the year, and they see all these Massachusetts cars coming in. So what they do is they take the number down, and then they radio to the states, the Gestapo, sitting on the highway as you enter Massachusetts, says, blue Ford, whatever it might pick up, whatever it might be, license number, blah, just left the fireworks factory up here in Windham, New Hampshire, or whatever it might be. So they pull him over, they take his fireworks. Okay? See, I know somebody with me, okay? Like when I went shooting the other day up New Hampshire, I stopped at the fireworks place. Okay? So they get my number all they want, because when I got back on the highway, I kept going north to my shoot. I came back 6 or 7 o'clock that night. They forgot about me, Jack. I kept going the other way. You just don't get back on the highway and go back. Those are the people that get caught. Go up there with your wife and your kids, buy some stuff, then get on the highway and go up 5 or 6 more exits, go in there, have something to eat and stuff like that, and then come back.
Well, they do the same thing with the state liquor stores.
Yeah.
Because you're avoiding paying the tax.
I bring my girlfriend there every once in a while when I go up to see my daughter, and I don't care. I'm going in there. Where does it say I can't buy something? Because I can go to New Hampshire and buy a washing machine or a dryer or something like that and not pay taxes on it.
Right, yeah.
But I can't go in or anything. I could buy a shirt and not pay. Well, I don't know what clothing is, but whatever it might be.
They have no sales
tax. They have no sales tax. I can go into Walmart and buy anything I want. Almost anything. Everything in Walmart in New Hampshire is no sales tax on it. Okay, but yet I go into the liquor store right beside Walmart in the same parking lot, and I can get arrested for evading taxes. No, I'm not evading taxes. They're not charging me any tax. I'm sorry. I'm here, so I figured I'd go here too, right? I'm not evading the tax.
Well, I think as a practical matter, they wink at you if you come back with 2 bottles of scotch. Mm-hmm. They wink at that.
I don't know. I'm not a drinker. But
no, I'm not a drinker either, so.
You know.
Never bought a bottle of liquor up.
Well, I've bought plenty of bottles of liquor, but I've never had an alcoholic beverage in my life.
Yeah.
But I mean, I bought.
Well, you've got to loosen up, Don.
Yeah.
You need one. You need a good shot every now and then, just to even you up.
Yeah.
It'll take that edge off of you.
Yeah, take the edge off. So what do you got to say? I mean, I haven't said nothing the whole show,
Right.
you know. But I mean, do you
I mean,
understand my frustration?
listen,
Margaret LaFlores is
absolutely.
a nitwit. Okay, to allow this to go on, but she's behind it. I believe she's behind it,
Yeah.
along with the others. I mean, for the fire chief folks to stand there and say, "I watched black smoke go up into the air," and it bothered me. It's one night a year. Do you think it's really going to upset the balance of the world because Howe's Neck had black smoke coming out of a bonfire? Okay, they're going to have the fire department down there ready with the hose to put it out. What are you going to put out? A couple of pieces of kindling that they're going to put there today? They just keep taking our rights away from us because they know the suckers out there, Jack, will either vote for them anyways because they're good liberals like you. Okay, then they'll run down to Florida. No, but the good liberals like you are the best ones out there, Jack. are the ones that don't even vote and then they bitch. Those are the ones I love to hear talking. Okay? But go ahead. When you bring something in, or do I have to talk through this whole show?
I don't know. I have some stuff here, but it's
Go
so
ahead.
boring.
Go ahead.
So boring. Well, I mean, I was here when you did the show with Dr. Duke Pesta. He spoke.
Oh yeah, you emailed me on that. Yeah.
And the Common
Yeah.
Core, you know, and just to say one thing, that when someone is speaking without anyone there to confront or dispute it, not confront, dispute what he's saying. Someone can say anything they want, whether it's true, false, or indifferent, and since there's no one there to dispute him, then that statement stands, and you can look pretty good. You can look pretty good, like your friend Rush Limbaugh speaks for 4 hours a day, and no one there to contradict him. So
All you have to do is
just
call
keeps plowing
All I
ahead.
do is pick up the phone and call him.
Mega dittos, Rush. How many mega dittos do you? Mega ditto. We're right with you, Rush. Mega dittos. And meanwhile, the other people call him up. You want to speak to him about what? He's wrong about what? Oh, gee, I'm sorry. The line went dead.
I listen to Rush.
Mega
all the- I
dittos,
listen to
Rush.
Rush a lot. And he doesn't. Rush has been many times, and he never does that. Rush
And he
says-
pontificates. Oh, anyway. So anyway, that if that's the situation.
But wait a minute.
That
Now.
there's only one person presenting one point of view, and he speaks at that
I
one point of
interviewed him.
view.
I interviewed him. You heard his interview with me.
I did.
Okay, but I interviewed him at where he was going to be doing the talk, and that was open to the public, and a lot of people came, and a lot of people did question him, and he went right back at them.
Well, I'm just
It
saying.
was an open mic thing at
I
the
wasn't
end.
there. I'm
Yeah.
just reacting
Yeah.
to what I heard.
Peter was there.
When someone speaks without any counterbalance,
No, he.
no, it's
no.
almost like a
I asked for an interview
Fox
with him.
interview.
Right, I asked for an interview with him, and he said yes.
Okay.
He didn't know where I was coming from.
Okay.
Okay, he did before the camera went on because I was talking to him about other stuff, all of it, so he knew it was going to be kind of an easy interview.
Sure.
But when an hour later, when he was up there talking to everybody and all the people that came, there wasn't like you can't come here unless you're conservative or unless you agree with them. Whoever wanted to come came.
Well, I can imagine that
And
if it's
people questioned him.
sponsored by the John Birch Society.
Well, what's the difference?
Well,
What's the
because-
difference? Why you
because
label? Why
those
you're
other
a good
people-
liberal? You're a good liberal, and now you're labeling
So
somebody.
that's-
That's
I
what you
call
liberals are. That's what you liberals are trying to pass laws.
It
to
wasn't
stop.
the John Birch Society?
Yeah, but you're labeling them.
No, I didn't.
Why did you even have to mention the John Birch Society? He was at a
Because
meeting.
that-
Because you said, and that was sponsored by the John Birch Society. It was your little liberal dig for everybody out there that knows the John Birch Society. Who cares who put it on? The people that came there weren't members of the John Birch Society.
You don't know that.
I do know that because the guy from John Birch Society had said, was asking people if they wanted to join. And then they said, no, we just came to see this.
Okay. Anyway, he just said a couple of things which to me are buzzwords. Like throwing out buzzwords.
Well, I'll tell you. I have this from good authority. Him. He's going to be back. I'm not sure
course he is.
when. Not sure when, but when he does, I hope I'll give you plenty enough time, and I hope that you will come. All right? Now, he left that. Okay, he spent that weekend, that Friday, Saturday, and Sunday in New England. He went from there up to New Hampshire. 800 people came to see him. 800 people.
Listen, I'm sure.
Out of those 800 people, there was a lot of them that weren't on his side. Do you know the vast majority of people that come to see him and agree with him are teachers? Do you know that the New York Teachers Union wants Common Core thrown out? But the governor of New York won't do it because they're getting so much money from the government. This is a government-run thing. The government's going to throw all kinds of money at it. Okay, and they're going to say, if you don't take the money, okay, you're not going to get anything from us. Okay, we're going to give you all kinds of money to teach the kids how to add something differently. One of my neighbors is a math teacher in the Brockton school system. He's got a big sign out in front of his house, okay? And I think I got to stop and read it, but it's a big sign, and wasn't handwritten. It was done by either his union or something else like that. And it says, common sense, get rid of Common Core. Okay? So the teachers don't like it. But if the government says you're going to have it, you're going to have it. They don't care who doesn't like it. Because the government isn't going to be wrong. They're going to make it work no matter how much it costs. or anything else, or who's heard of anything else. They're gonna make it work, even if it ain't. They don't care how dumb the dumbing down of America. Jack, all these years we've been doing it the other way, math. Okay, it's before Common Core come along. In teaching kids how to read and write and everything the old way, the way you did it at school, okay? It was good enough to put a man on the moon. It was good enough to put a man on the moon, Jack. I think the way we were doing it was successful. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I've been out of public education for over 10 years now. So I'm not really plugged in
Right.
to all the nuances of...
Well, you're the one that brought the subject up. Okay.
Yeah, well, I said I'm not that plugged into all the nuances of the Common Core. So if you started, someone would have asked me, someone who's been through it like this guy has, top to bottom, I probably couldn't answer some of his questions. But I went and I looked up the math standards. Mm-hmm. The math standards.
You were a math teacher, right?
I was a math teacher.
Okay.
So, I mean, this is at least in my bailiwick.
Okay.
Okay? And I read through this, which is just this.
Now, what is this? This is Common Core math?
Yeah, mathematics standards, Common Core,
Okay.
state standards initiative.
All right.
Okay? And I went through and I read this. Okay? I didn't find one single thing that I could object to in this thing right here. And then I went to the Common Core. This is a general statement. And then I went to the Common Core standards for grades 4. And I read through it. And I'm saying, this is what we do. Operations in algebraic thinking, number operations in base 10, number and operations fractions, data and measurement. And then, what did I do here now? I don't know. Then I took the, I didn't bring it. I took the Massachusetts. I went and printed out the Massachusetts standards, MCAS, Massachusetts, a comprehensive assessment system.
Excuse me.
Massachusetts Comprehensive Assessment System, and I took out the grade 4. I got grade 8, 2, and grade 4. I took out the grade 8 standards for MCAS, which he praised, and they're the same. I look at them. There's no difference. But now he throws two key words out that people are supposed to go, outcome-based. It's loaded with outcome-based education. Outcome-based education. You come to me and you want, and I'm a mechanic, and you say, Jack, I hear you're running a small engine class down at the high school at nights. I said, yes, I am. He said, well, I'd like to take small engine. I'd like to, so what will I get out of it? And I'll say to you, well, Don, at the end of the 8 weeks, you'll be able to, and I list off what you're going to be able to do. You're going to be able to take a typical lawnmower engine, break it down, put it back together, identify worn parts, learn how to replace them, learn how to maintain it, and that's what you're going to know at the end of this process. That's the outcome of your taking this course. Okay? And then the other key word is high stakes testing. Oh, it's high stakes testing. Ooh, high stake testing. I've been taking high stakes tests all my life. People have taken high stake tests all their life. And at the end of my course, Don, you're going to be prepared to take the state exam, and you're going to get a certificate in small engine repair. Okay? And but that becomes for you. Yeah, I want to get that. Now that's kind of a high stakes test for you. I mean, I've had courses in college where I got a C on the midterm, and I got a B- on my term paper. Now I got one more shot. And that's the final. That final becomes kind of a high-stakes test for me, you know? So high-stakes testing is, he just was throwing out these key words that some people go, oh, high stakes, oh. Well, it just means that you're going to be accountable for what you learn.
Well,
that's all it means.
He had, you went on the website, you got what you got. He had video there of actual classrooms, okay, of this new Common Core, when it comes in. And the most important part, like he said, is that not the 12th graders, not the 8th graders and stuff like that right now, because they're not going to be in long enough to get the benefit out of it. They're actually gearing it towards giving it to the kindergartens, so they get it all the way through school. Now he showed he showed examples of kids in the school doing it. Okay? And $100, okay, I'm sorry, 100 is no longer 100.00. It's no longer that. Okay, $100. It's now a round circle with a cube. That's 100. So if you wanted to make $1,000, you'd have to put all those cubes. $1,000 is a square. It's no longer how you see $1,000 put up nowadays. What is the sense of all this, Jack? I mean, not only that, he interviewed a teacher, okay, that was teaching it, and her comments were, you realize if I have to put 3 kids into together to do this math, all right? They were just doing the math part. 3 kids in to do it together. If 2 of the kids get it wrong and 1 kid gets it right, the correct answer is the answer that the 2 kids got it wrong because they came up with the same answer and they seem to have worked the hardest and were together in that class.
I would have to. I would have to see that.
Yeah.
I would have to see that.
Well, that's why I hope you come.
That.
I hope you come to the next one.
I would
in fact, what I'm going to try to do is because I have been in touch with him. I'm going to try and see if he'll send me a copy of that video, and I will get it to you.
Sure.
But if 2 kids get it wrong, Jack, they're wrong. If 1 kid comes up with the right answer, he should be told he's right. If 2 kids try real hard, okay, but they get the answers wrong, and 1 kid gets it right, these kids get the same mark as the other kid too, because they just tried so hard. Jack, when I went to school, and I'm sure when you went to school, you failed. You know, you lost the football game, you lost the basketball game.
If you got it wrong, if the answer's 6 and you say the answer's 5,
if
you got it wrong.
If you had 20 multiple questions, or fractions, or whatever it might be, and you turned it in, and 7 of them or 8 of them were wrong, you got a 60 or a 50 or a 40 or something like that. You didn't get to say, Donnie, you tried so hard. Jack didn't say, Donnie, you tried so hard. I'm going to give you a 90 like everybody else. I don't want you to feel left out. You were too dumb to pass it. You didn't study hard enough, or whatever it might be. We were all there. There were times when I didn't study hard enough. Half of the courses I had in school, they were boring. History, I loved. I loved history. Okay, I couldn't get enough of it. All right, but those other ones were just like, yeah, I'll just do enough to pass because I didn't give a darn. All right, but I shouldn't get the same score as kids that were working their fannies off to get a good score. But nowadays, we're going to give it to them. Nobody knows what it's like to fail anymore, Jack. And when you become an adult and you fail, who's going to be there to tell you, pat you on the head, saying, "Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. You're going to be all right." So they're going to have nobody there to help them.
Well, all I'm saying is I have to see it. What you're talking about is so different from what I think of, and it's so different from my experience.
You got your gun permit.
Yes, I do.
How'd you find the process?
I found the process very, very easy and very quick. They put my application in May 29th, and I got a call on. I went down.
We go today.
23rd. No. Well, I came in to show it to you, but I picked it up on the previous Monday. So from the 29th of May, I got it on the 23rd of June. Now, to me, the whole process was extremely reasonable. Now, probably to you, it's not extremely reasonable. But, like you say, this is the Quincy experience. I had an experience in probably the best situation you could have.
Chief Keenan runs a great department over there, and he does a great job with that.
But if you're telling me that I could just drive 5 miles down the road and I could get all kinds of harassment and delays.
You can drive to Weymouth or Braintree. You're not even going to get what they issued you for. They're going to give you for hunting, for target and hunting.
I got the deluxe.
Right, you did. Quincy gives out that.
And, well, anyway, I'm just saying, as I experienced the process, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But now, if in different towns it can be significantly different experience, well, then that's, that shouldn't be. It should be the same for all in Massachusetts. However you get your license in Town A or Town B, it should be the same procedure. should not depend upon the chief of police on his whim as to how he thinks it should go. He should get it. He shouldn't hold that file right there. You know, and all this.
Well, they give the issuing authority the power
Yeah.
to exercise a right. That's what they're doing.
Sure.
You're right. You have a right to keep and bear arms. All right? It's the right of the people to keep and bear arms. All right? But yet you have to go get a permission slip, which is a gun permit, in order to exercise that right. Then you got to jump through hoops to get it. You got to kiss somebody's backside.
Well, see, now you're
sometimes.
saying that. I'm just telling you that I found
You had no problem because you're a liberal. Okay? So if government is involved in it, you're so happy.
I mean, I was in a sense, maybe I was an ideal candidate. I had never been arrested.
But they check all that stuff, don't they, Jack?
No, I'm just saying.
But no, they check all that stuff.
But I've never been arrested.
So
they had no record to check.
Right.
I've never had mental issues. I mean, I've never been, in a mental hospital or anything like
the
that.
show, right?
I haven't had that. I don't, police haven't come to my house because of domestic abuse.
Right.
So I had a pretty clean record. I mean, if someone like me can't get a license in a pretty quick time, then I suppose.
But in some places in the state of Massachusetts, you would have a hard time getting one.
Maybe it would.
Not maybe, you would.
I would.
You would, because they leave it up to the issuing authority. Now, Chief Keenan does a fantastic job, and his men that give it out do a fantastic job.
Yeah.
But when Chief Keenan leaves, you could get a guy that could be here. We could be the worst place to get a gun permit, as we were a few years ago.
Sure.
Under the former chief of police.
Well, there should be a procedure. There should be a statewide procedure for getting it,
Jack,
and it should all be.
You got to understand something, Jack. Okay, what they're doing is that they know they can't ban the guns, and they know they can't take the gun away from you. They can't take the Second Amendment away from you. Not right now, anyways. So what they're doing is they're regulating you out of that right. Okay, even now they're up to the state house, and there's all kinds of bills up here to add more and more gun laws, federally and state, on all these states in Massachusetts, to regulate more and more. So what's going to happen someday is Jack Marshall's going to go to renew his permit. They're going to say, "Oh, you don't meet the criteria anymore, Jack." Well, geez, I met the criteria a couple of years ago. I haven't been in any trouble. I haven't done anything. You may even not have bought a firearm yet. Who knows? But I haven't done anything. Yeah, but we'll pass laws. You got a speeding ticket once. That now makes sure that you can't get one. You never told us. We found out you got a speeding ticket one time. And, now that part of the criteria, if you ever got a speeding ticket, they're regulating you out. Okay. How do you think a person? Were you in the military?
No, I was
Okay,
not.
I was in the service. Whenever anybody out there that was in the service can verify this. When I got out of the military, one of the last things you do before you get out is you have to go in front of doctors and stuff, get a physical to get out. And one of the persons you talked to was a psychiatrist. So now they're trying to pass these laws.
You got by that?
Now they're trying
let
to
you
pass.
out?
Yeah, now they're trying to pass these laws, Jack, here in Massachusetts, that if you ever saw a psychiatrist, you don't get your gun permit renewed, or you don't get one. So when I get the form and they say, "Do you ever see a psychiatrist?" I have to put down yes, and the reason why I did, but I have to check down yes. So now they can deny me, even though I'm like you. I've never been arrested, Jack. I've never been in trouble. I got a few speeding tickets in my time, but that's about the gist of it. All right, but yet they continually do this. They continually say, "Okay, let's pass one more law. Fine, we'll regulate them right out of that right." First Amendment, Jack, Second Amendment, and Fourth Amendment. Look it up when you go home. Are the only three amendments that say what?
The
right of the people. The right of the people. Okay. What are the three amendments? Almost every day of the week, you see they're coming after one of them in this government. It's either First Amendment, it's either freedom of religion, the freedom of speech. I mean, now you have speech hate. Where in the Constitution, Jack, does it say we can start a category over here when we want about what words you can say, what words you can't say, and that's speech hate. Okay? First Amendment is the right of freedom of speech. You may be offended, I may be offended. It doesn't matter. You have a right to say it. Okay, it's the old saying, when your fist touches my nose, and then we got a problem. But up until that time, you can say anything you want to me. All right? Same with religion. You have a right to practice any religion you want. But what's Hobby Lobby and the rest of them doing? They're going to the Supreme Court so they can practice their religion. What are they doing to the Second Amendment? They're coming after it left and right with all these regulations. What are they doing to the Fourth Amendment? The Fourth Amendment says what? Fourth Amendment gives, they say, it all started out with the fact that they could only take your home if they were going to build a highway. Okay? Now they're taking it because some judge says, yeah, they can take your property. They're going to put a high-rise here. They're going to have 10 or 12 apartments here. More taxes. Of course they can take your property. That's not what the Fourth Amendment is all about. But it's the three that say the right of the people. The others don't say the right of the people. It's the only three that say the right of the people.
How much more time?
2 minutes, Jack. 2
Okay.
minutes. I finally got something to say. You finally let me in there to say something. So what do you have to say, Jack, before we go? Hey, I hope you had a nice 4th of July.
I will have had.
Yeah.
And I hope the bonfire goes well instead of...
We're not going to have it. This is the last year, ladies and gentlemen, for the bonfire. No ands if buts about it. So last year, because people ain't going to bring any wood down next year. They have it all planned, Jack. The Gestapo plans it well in advance.
Did I
They're good at that.
congratulate you on air about your letter to Stephen Lynch?
No.
I didn't. Well, you emailed it to me, and I read it. It's very well written.
Thank you.
Very well written. And you were just hitting nails on the head all over the place. And so I'm sure you'll get a response.
I got a response from
did
him.
you?
Yeah. Thank you very much for your concern on this issue. It was like 7 issues. It was just, I got it back about 5 minutes after I sent it. It's just the computer automatically spits the response thanking you for sending something. He's not going to respond to it.
No.
He's not going to respond because he don't care. These suckers out here, what's he care, Jack? The suckers out here are going to vote for him again. Hey, you're going to vote for him, and then you're going to run down to Florida.
I'm going to vote for him twice.
Yeah, and then you're going to run down to Florida and make us suffer with him. You're going to be down to Florida with all the conservatives.
You know what we do down there all the time? Just sit around counting our money.
That's all.
That's one of our favorite things to do.
Yeah.
Just count the money.
Yeah,
you know?
give the mailman hell when he's late with your check, right?
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
Oh, gee. Well, yeah, I had a lot to say, but I'll keep my
Well,
mouth
go ahead.
shut.
We still
I had a
got- we
great
still got
thing
half
here
a-
on global temperatures. Great thing.
Wait, hurry.
By I'm not going to hurry.
What?
By NASA. Would you say NASA is a pretty good place to go for information? They got all kinds of satellites up there and taking pictures of this and measuring that, and you know.
It's all because of the house neck bonfire.
Yeah.
It all relates back to the house
They're
neck
gonna-
bonfire over these past
They're going to have a
60,
NASA
70 or
satellite
80
focused
years.
right in on
Oh, I would doubt it.
that. And they're going to measure the amount of
but-
fluorocarbons that go up
That's- I
in
bet
the
you.
ozone layer.
Remember this, folks. You heard it first here. It's the house neck bonfires after over 70 or 80 odd years, or maybe even longer, that's caused this global warming. Okay? It's not the fact of that's just a bunch of lies. There's no
I
such
have
thing.
a headache.
You do? I don't know why. It's hot out.
You don't know why,
Hey, hope you had a nice 4th of July.
You took all the oxygen. Oh, I didn't get a chance to wear my flag.
Oh,
You took all the oxygen out of the air. That's all right. It's your show. You're the star. Not for long.
Washington, Jefferson, Franklin, and many more put their lives on the line to defend what they're fighting for. So let's hold to our rights that helped us make us free. So every generation will live in liberty. Liberty's not cheap and it comes with a price, and we have to pay our dues. Next time you look up at that flag, remember who gave it to you.